I don't know if you've ever seen a bunch of guys with drills and hammers in their hands. You kind of don't ask them to stop when they're not ready. So I'm just going to ask you to take a couple of long, deep breaths, set aside any distractions, and let yourself just sit here with your breath. And then in a few moments, I'll begin some more guidance and some talk about our theme today, which has to do with what to do with energies in the body, when is a good time to meditate, and just talking more about what happens when different layers of conditioning are lifted and how that impacts our ordinary day-to-day life experience, perhaps our sleeping patterns, and just our moods, even everything, our emotionality, our humanity, everything. There's so much to the process of unraveling the identification. And just from the start, what I want to say is a very good question to always ask ourselves is, what am I not allowing myself to see? Now, to be able to be open to seeing and feeling everything that arises, and to know that there isn't an end point. So there will be a fluctuation of experience, and it's not so much the experience that we're even looking at, it's what's beneath that. And the practice of meditation is to establish a very strong foundation in your roots, in the direct experience of who you are. And what that means is that everything that isn't true about you needs to be uprooted, needs to be lifted from the core. So as we're sitting with ourselves in a sincere openness, their old identity, like we have to be willing to not be with that any longer and to be open to what is unknown perhaps about who we are. So go ahead and, the construction may have stopped. We'll see. But go ahead and take a few nice, long, deep breaths. Breathing full and deep, relaxing into your body, welcoming everything that is here. Whatever thoughts, whatever sensations, tension, anxiety, openness. And as you breathe more fully and deeply in your body, you're relaxing more as the backspace of awareness, of noticing without interfering, without holding or pushing anything away. And simply noticing how you are, not as a body, not as an emotion or an idea or whatever it is that you learned about yourself, but relaxing into that space of you that is always here, no matter how vivid or subtle that may feel. And notice what happens when you don't endeavor to change anything. You may notice that the breath widens a little bit more. Perhaps it deepens more down into the hip carriage, down into the legs, feeling less top heavy perhaps. And the idea behind meditation is not to get rid of anything. So thought can be here, sensations, energies, moods, whether they be light and happy or dark and perhaps scary. All of this may arise in meditation. The most important thing is for you to remain as the noticing, as the noticing, this wider space that allows for everything to be here, especially as the deeper recesses, the deeper places that may have been suppressed for many, many years, just hiding out, they'll begin to awaken as you sit. And when you're feeling these kinds of energies open up in your day-to-day experience, energies that, may not necessarily feel good, because meditation isn't about creating an experience of feeling good. All experience changes, all experience comes and goes. We're always endeavoring to land more deeply in this place of constancy, this place that is rooted very deeply in the core of all humanity. It's your birthright. You don't do anything to earn it. Can't get rid of it. It's like a flame that never goes out. So to let these energies come, and when you're sitting, and it's really important to sit, to pause when you feel called, when there's something inside that is calling you, it's asking you to come here, come closer, come look here, feel here, be here. If you're moving around in your life and perhaps complaining or, wanting things to be different and feeling yourself moving away, that's the time to sit. The time to sit is when you feel called, but also if you feel yourself running, moving away from something in life, perhaps a relationship or a particular feeling, and you want to get away from it. That's a very good time to sit. It means that something is becoming accessible, to be felt, to be seen, to be met. Something coming up from those deeper recesses. It's been held back. Some kind of energy that may have a particular emotional flavor to it. Now, these energies may present around in the headspace like an unloading of thought, like a downloading of memory, experiences that perhaps you didn't want to think about, but the content of these memories, of these experiences, are wanting to unpack. And it could be a period of time where thought feels very strong. And if you can give yourself a moment to sit and just let that thought unravel, discharge. It's almost like could feel like it's a loop that maybe at one time in your life, it was just completely unconscious and kept you in a particular kind of movement or a frame of reference into how you identified yourself. But as that piece of identity is detoxifying, unpacking, unraveling, it's important to wonder, who would I be without this? Am I willing to be without this? Am I willing to just sit and let these patterns of thought unravel, detox? It's like the deeper grooves of those thoughts are flushing out. And those thoughts have, in the past, formed a particular identity, a frame of reference into how you think about yourself, and then how you relate to yourself and to others. So just that simple, honest question: am I willing to sit and let these patterns of thought empty out? And even if you feel yourself tugged to move away because that's what you may have done in the past, because you didn't have the resource that you have now to breathe back here, down into yourself as the noticing presence, constant. It doesn't identify or attach. to any frame of reference. So these thoughts can clear. The conditioned viewpoint, the reference, the way of viewing yourself and the world can shift. And am I willing to not know what that would be like without? To be without a particular perspective or frame of reference. So that might be something that's calling you or something that you might be moving away from, keeping busy or somehow fueling that old frame of reference. So here, just to sit. And when the grooves of the mind are emptying, sometimes we can feel a little disoriented. And that's okay. So that might be happening in meditation to varying degrees. Just remembering that you're the noticing, you're the constant, always here. Just let that continue. And then at another time, the energies that are more of an emotional kind of nature may feel very strong. Maybe there's an energy of anxiety or, unexplainable grief, sadness, or anger. And you can't necessarily locate its source, but you just feel kind of emotionally, for lack of a better word, right now I'll say like a basket case. Just lots of emotions. Some can feel very heavy and dense. And others might just be like feeling like a mood that has a tone of darkness to it, or anything else. And if we're looking at that from the perspective of our mind, the mind will distort it, and it may feel, it will, say whatever it says, and it can actually distort the emotion. And that's the way that the mind identifies with emotion and accentuates the content, the feeling tone of it, and whatever story it might tell. So when these emotional tones are happening, this too is the time to sit So again, here, when emotions are happening, either you're feeling really drawn to sit because there's something really sweet and cozy calling you to your heart that you just want to savor. Or it might be that you're feeling that you're moving away from something because that's what you do. That's what the personality learned to do, the conditioned personality, and hasn't had the emotional training to sit, to stop. So here it's again asking the question, am I willing to come here, to sit here, and to simply be with whatever is happening in this field of the heart, the emotional body, the feeling body, without filtering it through the interpretations or conclusions or conditioned notions of the mind. Can I just be here in the field of the heart and allow for whatever is here to be here without necessarily having an explanation? So this is how meditation, in this way of just allowing, allowing, and being in a space of openness. And even if there's a part that's resisting, you let that be here. Again, if you feel that part that wants to move away or is tugging you away, to let that be here, to notice it, and to allow whatever content is opening from a deeper groove, deeper recess, a deeper pocket. It's been held unknowingly. So here, spirit, the spirit of you as awareness is calling this to awakening as well, calling it to wake up. So these energies of the heart in the emotional field can clear out, can detoxify, can harmonize. So there may be feelings that come, sadness, tears, welcome. Anxiety may shift to something else, welcome. So just letting the energy, the content open and empty and breathe it out the backside of your body in a very gentle way, like you're just open space in the front, in the sides, and behind the heart. The whole torso is just open. And as you open, you might notice tones of green and blue. They're very healing colors, soft and kind. So to be kind here, because beneath these denser energies, darker moods, is much more of you that you may not have recognized yet. So are you willing to leave the surface and fall deep into yourself. Fall in love here with whatever wants to present. Without expectation and without clinging to a former experience in meditation. Because there may have been former experiences that felt very happy and bubbly and joyful, but that's also more surface, beautiful and nice. But bliss, peace, compassion run very deep to the core. It's not as bubbly, but it's the kind of peace and ease of heart, openness of heart, softness of heart that allows us to endure all the comings and goings of our ordinary existence. So let yourself fall deep here. Mm. And you may sense a certitude, a certainty, a deeper knowing here of this that you are, that is untouched, already pure. And it's this untouched, already pure constancy that clears all that has been gathered as experience, but doesn't really have anything to do with you. So are you willing to let it empty? Are you willing to discover who you are without a mask, without any protecting mechanisms? They may have been necessary at one time, but here you are now, safe in the comfort of you, the depth of you. Also, when we sit to meditate, energies may get enlivened in the base of the body, more in the root chakras, deep in the belly, and also around the sexual organs. And these energies are also unraveling any distortion. They're cleaning, because all conditioning impacts all the energies of the body. So, however we may have been conditioned sexually or treated around our sexual identification, even as a gender, being a female or a male, or whatever religious conditioning may have been layered into the system, perhaps some kind of mistreatment, violation, confusion, perhaps carrying something from a parent or a trusted adult that was inappropriate, and also picking things up from the media. All of this can have an impact on the energies living in the body. And meditation also serves as it matures and develops, and you give yourself to it. It's the foundation of meditation is to align you with the truth of who you are, and to bring all of the energies of you into harmony and in balance. So meditation might also be working in these deeper parts. And it's not that when I was speaking all the way through this guided meditation, it isn't, systematic. All of these places could be opening and clearing and balancing at the same time. Or you may feel really drawn and called with your attention, with your awareness to a particular place in the body. It's just happens, it's happening by itself. And the more that you just let yourself be out of the way as an idea of what might need to happen, the more the intelligence of you, the intelligence in your body, the intelligence that is already in alignment with truth, can reorganize these energies, can clean or empty out what isn't true, can harmonize, can bring you back into the aliveness and the innocence of you as you were as a baby, very alive and innocent. And as meditation is working here in the lower fields, deeper, and everything has its depth, all of these different places. I'm using this word deeper, not like it doesn't only happen here, like everywhere is depth. You're infinite, so there's no ending. But here, as opens, especially if there's been suppression, can feel a lot of energy open up, and it might keep you awake. Like, wow, this is just aliveness, fire, lots of energy. And then the body might want to experience what that feels like to feel so alive and so fiery and good. And let it happen. Let it happen. And the idea always is, or the guidance you could say, is to stay out of your own way, without interpreting any of this or coming to a conclusion. It's all about the journey, not the end. There's not a destination to arrive at. You as the constant is always here, and this awakening is gradual. And there's a gradual reorganization of all of these energies as they harmonize and stabilize. As what's happening is a false identification is being fractured at all these different levels and is emptying out. And it's exciting and delightful. So, here again, it's always sit when you feel really drawn to, you're called. Something is calling you inside. You just follow it. You just sit for as long as it feels like something is being met. Just enjoy the deliciousness of it. And another good time to sit is when you feel yourself avoiding perhaps something or running away from some difficulty. There just to sit in innocence and sincerity and with the question, am I willing to let myself see? Am I willing to allow whatever is here to be here? Am I willing to just be and let life have me? Let this universal intelligence unravel whatever needs to be unraveled. And you simply remain as the constant field of awareness, of openness, of allowance, without expectation, without doubt. Doubt will clear. Whatever's happening for you now, just allow. Allow yourself to see, to feel, to simply notice. And allow these energies to move as they will, to settle where they will, to reorganize as they will, to stabilize, and balance and harmonize. So energy is transmuted. It's nothing new. It's the energy of you to be enjoyed. So, meditation is truly the deepest form of love, to love all of you, to allow for all of you to be here, however it may be showing itself on the surface, and to discover the depth of you, the depth that has no end, to live from there, not from a surface idea or surface experience that may be held, but that comes and goes. And to love that as well. So before I go over to the Zoom, I just want to say one more thing, that some beautiful questions came this time, and I'm always so grateful for those. And just sharings. I really love to hear what's happening in your life and in your meditations. And if there's anything I can ever clarify or any particular way I can offer support, I'm always happy to. But also you can get into a rhythm of meditation, which is a really nice thing, to have some kind of a rhythm, whether it be right when you wake up in the morning to just, have some time for you. And sometimes that can really set us straight for the day, give us some kind of orientation that is in alignment with our deepest intention for freedom, for truth, for love. Not our idea of it, but what it is actually. And other times, it's a kind of a settling to be able to meditate at night. But for some people, night might not be the best time, especially if a lot of energies are waking up now. And you could get really energized and then not be able to sleep. So you have to pay attention to that and be willing to change your schedule, because like some different energies are opening and it might be better to sit in the morning or midday. So those are, just some tips and some guidelines to follow, to, sit when you feel called, because you don't want meditation to feel like a have to, on one more thing that you add to some kind of a list.